This video is going to be a brief synopsis, more like a beginner's guide on how to build muscle and build strength. So it's kind of like a powerlifting and bodybuilding kind of tutorial. We're going to cover a few topics. I'm gonna see if I could timestamp it. If not, I'll edit in the screen. I recommend watching the whole video because each of these points are essential. Because I'm going to tell you what you need to know that you can implement in your training. Not like some useless information like the mitochondria being the powerhouse of the cell. I don't want to just overload information that you don't need in the long term. If you're looking for that type of information, there are books and other YouTube videos that go over that kinesiology aspect and like more like deeper scientific way of lifting. The very first topic I want to go over is motor learning. The very basic definition I could give you is just taking little steps to proceed at a certain level or to the next level. Think of it as like a baby. Before you run, you learn how to crawl. And before, like, you learn how to walk. But before you learn how to walk, you learn how to crawl. So basically how motor learning is applied in weightlifting is you start at lighter weight and you learn techniques over time before you do heavy weight, essentially. For beginner lifters, it's more normal to lift like heavier weight, not like super heavy, but like about like 20, 30 pounds. And their beginning phase, throughout like a month or so lifting, because your brain, like you're building your neuron muscles, and it's basically your brain registering the movements of like the lifting up and the lifting down. So like the concentric and then the eccentric, which I'll get back into in a later part of this video. It's called newbie gains in like gym bro terms, and it's basically the all or nothing. You're basically learning how to like, because when you lift heavy, you need to just go straight in for it, and it depends on the like type of compound lift you're doing. Like let's say you're doing bench. When you're on bench, you got to keep your shoulders tight, your elbows tucked in to your like lats, leg drive, and your back arched. And you just gotta like, when you're lifting heavy, you go down and then you just lift up as fast as you can, but like good bar path, you know? Let's say like you try to get a PR on curls, and then the first time you're doing it, it's gonna look a little sloppy. So like, let me give you an example, right? You're doing curls and shit. You're going like this. When you're more likely new, so you're gonna have it like here. Your form's not gonna be as good, which is okay because you're learning it. That's what motor learning is. You're learning to form. So your form's gonna be like this. You're gonna be a little sloppy. You're gonna like wobble. You're gonna wobble around. You might fall. You might bust your butt. That's okay. Don't do that a lot because you don't want to get injured, especially when you're doing a compound lift, because that would be bad, and you'd go in a hospital. And I'm not responsible for any damages that happen to you. And yeah, but not to scare you though. This is basically your learning. That's why you're starting lightweight so you don't get injured. The second week though, you're like, oh, okay. And then let's say you got like a coach or something or someone training you. You got like someone helping you. You fix your elbows, you fix your curl bit, and then you go like this. So you're like, oh, okay, sweet. I got this. Yeah, I understand it now. And then you're just like lifting it, and boom. You feel it more on the bicep. You got the form better. Great. Motor learning is very important and crucial for every beginner. Like, regardless of whether you're lifting, learning an instrument, anything, literally anything, like even math, you need a tutor, you need like, or when you're learning a new language, you need someone that's an expert that can help you. And in lifting, there's something called coaches. I think coaches, or literally it could be anyone. It could be your gym bro or like an actual coach. Like, get someone, an expert in the field, to help educate you so you can make your process faster when it comes to the gym. Some people say like coaches are useless because there's so much information on the internet. You can learn a lot of things on your own. I did for like my beginning part of the weightlifting I've been weightlifting since middle school. My technique was so bad that I missed out on a lot more progress than I could have gained. So just know, like, if you're choosing to not have a coach or a gym bro, that's fine. Because I know, like, you want to have your alone time. You want to work on your own. Just know what you're leaving on the table in comparison to if you did have someone experienced. You don't need to pay money for a gym bro or asking questions around the gym. I get people have social anxiety, but it's okay to ask questions. Like, no one's gonna kill you or shoot you for asking a question. No one's gonna get offended. If you're respectful and you don't interrupt their set and you wait for them to finish and be like, excuse me, is my form okay? Can you please check my form? If they say no, go to a different person. It's not the end of the world. And yeah, motor learning takes time. It takes time. It takes a lot of practice. It feels weird. You just need to keep practicing that, and you need to have the muscle memory in your brain. That's how motor learning works. Ways you can enhance motor learning is through seeing it and feeling it, you know? So, like, let's say you're on the bench, you see your friend or some random person on the bench. You ask that person is teaching you how to do the bench. They keep your lats tight, keep your back arched, chest up, you know, shoulders back, leg dry. I can't show you my legs right now. But you're doing all this, right? You might mess up and you might start tweaking and you might look like you're gonna die, or you're doing like a dance. As you're benching, you're gonna go like this. You don't want to do that. So the guy helping you is gonna correct your form and hopefully spot you on the bench so you don't die. Essentially, don't be discouraged if you get your form wrong. Life is all about going through trial and error. You need to go through trial and error if you eventually want to get success. And with time, success will come one way or another. A wise person told me that everyone has different paths to success. So don't be discouraged. It's God's plan. All right. Muscle fibers. All right. There are two types of muscle fibers. There are fast twitch muscle fibers and slow pitch muscle fibers. And basically the difference between both is that fast twitch muscle fibers are for like strength and explosiveness. Slow twitch muscle fibers are more endurance, so it's more like walking, you know. People are born with a predominant set of fibers. It could depend on the type of hypertrophy you induce in your training. Some people have like more fast twitch muscle fibers than slow twitch ones. So someone that could look like that way, like 165, that bench 405, that person most likely has like more fast twitch muscle fibers help lift heavier, like I mentioned before. But if you're wondering how muscle is built, it's more based on what you do in the weight room, and it doesn't necessarily get big in the weight room, if that makes sense. Hypertrophy, in a simple definition, is adding muscle. And how that occurs is through microtraumas, which is basically tears that, like, muscle damages, like as you're doing the lifts. Eccentric and concentric lifts, your muscles get damaged, like the muscle fibers. And after it gets damaged, it recovers. But what it does in the recovery process is add more muscle. But the muscle it adds is so little, which is why it takes such a long time to build muscle. Which is why you commonly hear, like, it's not possible to get 40 pounds in, like, 3 months naturally. Because it's not. Because the time it takes is so slow and so tedious that you're probably going to gain less pounds of muscle. You're still going to look good. Don't get me wrong. But have your expectations very realistic. With, like, and have, like, a lot of self-accountability. Because that is critical in your goals. And life in general, and the gym. Hypertrophy, okay. So there are two kind of, like, let me see what's a good word for it. There's two types of hypertrophy: functional and non-functional hypertrophy. Basically, functional hypertrophy is called myofibrillar hypertrophy. And it's basically, it develops when you're lifting heavy weights, which doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting bigger muscle. It's just that the size, like the muscle fiber size is getting bigger, hence the increased strength of that muscle fiber. So you're able to lift more, but you're not necessarily going to get more muscle. If you want more muscle, that's cytoplasmic hypertrophy, also known as functional hypertrophy, which is basically lighter weights, but it's at a higher volume. And that is bigger looking muscles. Also, I hope you like my shirt, by the way. Yeah, I just wanted to show that off. Also, a bonus tip that I didn't include in my bullet points for the muscle building. Sleep is critical. You need to get rest for performance and your nervous system and your muscle recovery. If you don't rest, it's gonna diminish your process completely. So, yeah, I recommend about 8 hours of sleep. That's the best amount of time you could really get. 7, if that's the most you could get, is fine. But as long as you get like good sleep and high quality sleep till the point like you could recover good, you're chilling. And also, definitely stay hydrated. That is also really important because you're gonna sweat a lot working hard. And definitely focus on technique. Technique is good. And if you want motivation, just take progress photos every day. Like, this is how I started out in the first part. And then this is me now. So, yeah, that's all I really have. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to send me a message on Instagram or comment down below. And I also have a new TikTok account that I'll try to post. I'll link it down in the description. Disregard the TikTok I mentioned in my previous videos in the description. I'll link my official one in the comments, or I'll link it